So, hello friends, my name is Ritesh Jaiswal and I am a first year student of NIT Jamshedpur, and today we all are here to look at out for one of the most important questions that are asked from the topic photoelectric effect and wave particle duality. Actually, from today I have started a whole series on modern physics, and this is our first topic in that. And yes friends, for this we have featured the book H.C. Verma, and our question ranges from its worked out example, objective 1, objective 2, and yes friends, the most important one, the subjective types. So friends, I think we can start. So yes friends, our first question says, if we have a light of 600 nanometer wavelength and intensity this, then we have to find E means energy, P and number of photons crossing 1 centimeter square in 1 second. So let's see what is these value. I think you know E equals to hc by lambda, and the value of hc I think you also know, 1242 electron volt nanometer upon lambda 600 nanometer. So solving this we get a value of 2.07 electron volt. This this is our first answer. This is the energy of each photon. Remember my word, each photon. I will use this in upcoming topic. Similarly, P, momentum of each photon, it is equals to E by C. E we have got 2.07 electron volt upon C, 3 into 10 ka power 8. This we got 0.69 electron volt second per meter. This is the actual unit. This is the momentum of each photon. So now let's try and come on the third thing, which is number of photon crossing 1 centimeter square in 1 second. So how we have to do this? Our CFETs, our intensity was 100 watt per meter square. What it means in 1 meter square we have an energy of how much? 100 joule falling in 1 second. So by unitary method, in 1 centimeter square we will have energy of 100 into 10 ka power minus 4 joule falling in 1 second. This comes to be minus 10 ka power minus 2 joules. So this is the total energy falling on 1 centimeter square, but we have to find number of photons. So I think you know one formula, n equals to total energy upon energy of each photon. That thing I was talking to you. So we have total energy 10 ka power minus 2, energy of each photon 2.07 electron volt, and this is joule. So putting the actual value of electron volt, we will get a value of how much amount? 3 into 10 ka power 6, 16. 16. This is our total number of photons. So friends, I think this question is clear to you. If you have still any doubt, you can ask me in comment section. So yes friends, coming to our second question, it says, if we have a metal plate of radius 1 nanometer, see it is very small, and placed 5 meter to a 5 milliwatt source. Actually this is not 5 milliwatt, 1 milliwatt. I have written wrong, so please correct it. Then we have to find time taken by electron to come out, assuming wave nature. Actually, friends, in photoelectric effect, we have assumed particle nature. But see, if we assume wave nature, then what will be the situation? Let's see. This is our source. Let's say this, and this is our plate, and this distance is 5. We have to find the energy that is coming to this is used to eject the electron. We have to find the time. So let's see how to do it. Clearly, can you find the energy which is falling on this? Yes, let's see how. If we draw a circle, means sphere here, so the total energy falling on this sphere would be equals to power of source, which is 1 milliwatt, means 1 into 10 ka power minus 3 upon total surface area, which is 4 pi into 5 whole square. This is energy falling on this total surface area. So energy on this small area, this multiplied by area of that, which is pi into 1 nanometer whole square, 10 ka power 9 ka 10 ka power minus 9 ka whole square. This is the energy which is falling on that small area. So its value come to be, let's see how much, 10 ka power minus 20 joules per second. This is the energy falling per second on that area. But phi means phi, its work function is 2 electron volt, means until or unless 2 electron volt is not supplied to the electron, it will not come out. So we can use one thing. Let's see. T, time, equals to total energy required upon rate at which rate at which it is sent. So yes, we have to both the values. It is 2 electron volt, 2 electron means 1.6 10 ka power minus 19 upon energy at which it is supplied 10 ka power minus 20. This comes to be around 8.8 hours. See friends, how long it is. That's why our wave nature has failed. So I think this question is clear to you, so that we can move to our next question. Yes friends, it says if actually this is not if, find there would be find lambda if light is operated at 200 watt and emits this number of photons per second. So let's see how we have to do. uh, See friends, what we can assume, 200 joule of energy is emitted by source per second. According to this means power, then can we find the energy of each photon? Yes, let's say energy of each photon be E. Then what we can write, we have total number of photon this amount, then we can write 4 into 10 ka power 20 into energy of each photon will be equal to 200 joules, because this energy, this number of photons are emitted per second, and this is energy, power of source per second. So yes, we can get the energy of each photon. Remember my word, each photon. By putting the value means dividing these two, we get a value of 5 into 10 ka power minus 90 joules. This is the energy of each photon. So yes friends, now we can, I think you can find lambda. Let's see how. By simple that formula, lambda equals to hc by E. Again, value of hc 1242 electron volt nanometer upon energy we have got how much, 5 into 10 ka power minus 19 joule. Simply convert this in joules, how much, 1.6 10 ka power minus 19, and we got a value of 400 nanometer. I hope this question is clear to you. This question again based on a concept how you approach to find the energy of each photon. So I think this question is clear, so that we can move to a next question. Yes, friend. This is also one of the most important question. Let's see how, because it will give a basis for the upcoming question. If lambda wavelength is 500 nanometer incident normally on a perfectly absorbing surface, then we have to find the force exerted on that surface if power through any cross section is 10 watt. So let's see how we have to do, friends. What First of all, what we can say that to 10 joule of energy, 10 joule of energy is incidenting per second on the surface, on the surface. This is clear. Then now what we can write, the energy of each photon. First of all, this thing which is hc by lambda. Now this is 1242 electron volt nanometer upon lambda 500 nanometer. This comes to be how much amount? 2.48 electron volt. This is the energy of each photon and the number of photon incidenting per second. Then we can again find n equals to total energy upon energy of each photon. So photon, this comes to be energy, total energy is 10 joule upon energy of each photon is 2.48 electron volt. So putting value of electron volt in joule, we get a total number of photons. How much? Let's see. It comes to be around 2.5 into 10 ka power 19. These number of photons are incidenting per second on surface. So let's see, friend, how we have to approach. Uh, so yes, friends, total momentum carried by each photon per second can we find? Yes, friend. Actually, yes. How? Let we have to see. Momentum of each photon. I think you know P equals to E by C. which is h nu by c. And total, if we have total number of proton n, then it will be n h nu by c. This value we are given, which is 10 joule, and this we know. Then it comes to be 10 by c. This comes to be 3.3 into 10 ka power minus 8 Newton second. This is the unit. So this is the total momentum exerted on the surface, and per second. So I think you know that change in momentum, change in momentum per second is actual the force. So yes friend, this is also our answer. So from this we can get a shortcut formula of force, which is F equals to power upon c. Means whenever we are given with power and we have its speed of light, we can easily find its value p by c, which is force. It sometimes intensity is also given to us, so in that case, I think you know, to change intensity to power, we have intensity into area upon c. So these two formula you have to remember. Simply remembering this one is just enough. That is force equals to power of the source upon speed of light. So friends, I think this question is clear, so that we can move to our next question. So yes friends, this is the question based on the previous thing. Then find the time period of oscillation of this small strip if it is perfectly absorbing. Again, it is perfectly absorbing, and the power of the source is W. and and also we have to find theta. So yes friends, I have told you F equals to power upon speed of light. Power is W upon c. This is the force exerted on the strip. uh, I Let me tell you one other thing. If it is perfectly reflecting, then it will be equals to 2W upon c, but here it will work as it is perfectly absorbing. So can we find theta? Yes, how? Let's see. We can find tan theta equals to uh, here by mechanics. Here we have a force here, which is F light, force through light, and here which is force through gravity. So tan theta will be equals to what we can write, F light, force due to light, upon F due to gravity. This we have got W by C, and gravity mg. This simply comes to W upon m into g into c. This is the value of tan theta. So simply theta will be equals to tan inverse W W upon m g c. Now time period of oscillation. I think you know one thing. Then that time period equals to 2 pi under root L upon G effective. I think this formula, I think you know. So simply putting the value 2 pi under root L, length of thread, upon G effective. In this case we have G square plus W upon MC ka whole square. This is our G effective. So I think this is clear to you. So yes friends, let's see how we have to do this question. This is also one of my favorite question. Let's see why. It says that we have a source of power W. This we have a source, and we have to find the force on hemisphere if it is perfectly reflecting. This we have a hemisphere. So you may be thinking that Ritesh sir have told F equals to 2 times W by C for perfectly reflecting, and we complete this hemisphere. So in half of this hemisphere, means in half of sphere, we have force W equals to C, but this will be wrong. Let's see why. Actually, for parallel source of light, our this formula works, but in this we have a point source which is sending light in this way, so this formula will not work. But let's friends move to next slide, so I can tell you better. But friends, let's draw its figure. We have a hemisphere this way, and it is sending light in. Let's say here we have a small area, and here we have theta. For this small area, our we can assume light to be coming as a parallel source. So let's find how much energy per second is falling on this area. We can write E equals to total power of source W upon for a total area of sphere 4 pi r square multiplied by dA. This much amount of energy is falling on this small area per second. So it act as a W effective. Remember my word, W effective for this small area. So now we can use that formula. F, let's say dF equals to again 2 times W effective upon C. So what we can write, 2 times W dA upon 4 pi r square into C. So but one thing is important here. Let's see the figure. Here we have figure. In this small area, F force is acting in this direction, but it has a component here and a component here. Here we have a component of F cos theta, and here we have a component of F sin theta. Similarly, for this way, we again have a component here and a component here. These two sine component will cancel out, and our cos component will get add up. So what we can write, total force. So friends, we can write F total equals to W upon 4 pi r square summation df cos theta dA cos theta upon C. This dA cos theta, let me show you what it is. Actually, this we have a hemisphere. Here we have here we have a surface having dA, and this again surface acting as a means vector. It has a component here and a component here. Let's say it is theta. So dA cos theta will be summation will have a shadow over here. So that is this total area of the shadow will just fall on this means circle. So this dA f cos theta will be equals to pi r square. So we can write F equals to W pi r square upon 4 pi r square into C. So this and this cancel out, and actually here we also have 2 W by 2C. This is our final answer. So friends, I hope this question is clear to you. So yes friends, our next question says, if Earth receives an intensity of this much amount from the Sun, then we have to find the number of photons per falling per unit area per second. Second thing, number of photons in each cubic meter near Earth's surface, and number of photons, total photons emitted by Sun. So let's come on the first thing, number of photons falling per unit area per unit second. So for this we can write N equals to total energy falling per unit area per unit second upon what, energy of each photon. So total energy falling per unit area per unit second is 1.4 into 10 ka power 3, and energy of each photon, which is 1242 electron volt nanometer upon hc by lambda, means 500 nanometer. Actually I have missed this data. Lambda will be 500 nanometer. So calculating this, we get a value of let's see what is, it comes to be 3.5 into 10 ka power 21. This is the number of this is our first answer. So we can move to a next part. Yes friends, next part says, we have to find the number of photons in each cubic meter area near Earth's surface. So actually, 1 meter cubic area we can realize as a length of 1 meter and a cross section area of 1 meter square. So the time taken by light to travel a length of 1 meter and filling a cross section area of 1 meter square will be equal to T equals to length upon velocity 1 by C. So we can write energy, total energy in that 1 meter cube of area equals to power into time, and power is actually our intensity if we take it in 1 meter square. So our power will become 1.4 in 1.4 into 10 ka power what was it at 10 ka power 20 10 ka power 3, and multiplied by 1 by C, we get a total value of let's say is let's say we keep it. So this is the total energy which is contained in 1 meter cube of area. So number of photons, just dividing it by energy of each photon. So again N equals to 1.4 10 ka power 3 upon C, energy of each photon. I think I have written 1242 electron volt nanometer upon 500 nanometer. Just simply solving this, you get a value of 1.2, let me write friend, 1.2 into 10 ka power 13. This is number of photons in that 1 meter cube of area. So friends, I think we can move to a next part. Yes friends, now we have to find total number of photons emitted. So let me first draw the figure. This is our sun, this is our earth at a distance of r. R actually was given how much, let's say 1.5 into 10 ka power 11, and in this small area of earth, we have calculated in the first part number of photon n was how much, 3.5 into 10 ka power 21. So by symmetry, each meter square will have same, so the total number of photons will be just equals to n total equals to 3.5 into 10 ka power 21 into surface area 4 pi r square. So just solving this, we get a total number of photons how much, 9.9 into 10 ka power 44. This is the total number of photons actually emitted by the sun. So friends, I hope this question is clear to you, so that we can move to our next question. Yes, friends. This let's see this question. In this question says, if n the number of photons strike the this wall per second and get reflected by theta, and then we have to find the force exerted on the wall. If it is perfectly reflecting, find force. So first, we can find it by the change in momentum per second. So what we can write, friends? Uh, uh, let's say for one photon, the momentum imparted on the screen, means on the wall, will be, for one photon it will be equals to 2p cos cos theta, 2p cos theta, and p, I think 2 times h by lambda cos theta, because p is acting here, its cos component here, sine component here. Sine component will not contribute, only cos component will contribute. So this is for one photon. Similarly, for total photon, it will just multiplied by n, so n times 2h upon lambda into cos theta. This is the force which is imparted on the wall, because it is the change in momentum per second, which is given in the question. So friends, I think we can move to our next question. So yes, friends, our third question means our next question says, a beam of light means a surface is 70% absorbing, and means it will be 30% reflecting. Then we have to find force exerted by light falling normally on it, and it has a power 10 watt. So means 10 joule of energy is falling on that surface. So 70% get absorbed, means absorbed, total energy absorbed 7 joule, and total energy reflected 3 joule. Now not 3 joule is reflected, but now contribution of force from this will be equals to 7 by c, and from this it equals to 2 times 3 by c. So total, what we can write, 13 upon c. This is the total force on that surface. I hope this question is clear to you. So friends, we can move to our next question. So yes friends, let's see this question how we have to do. It says that we have a light of wavelength 400 nanometer, and which is incident on a metal plate whose phi equals to 2.2 electron volt. A particular electron makes absorb a photon and make two successive collisions, and losing 10% of its energy in each collision. Then we have to find the kinetic energy when it comes out, and second, number of collision in which it would not be able to come out. So friends, before this, we are assuming that electrons are just coming out after photoelectric effect, and with suffering no collision, but in this case we have to add two collisions. So friends, let's see what we have to do. First of all, the energy received by electron from the photon, it is equals to 1242 electron volt nanometer upon wavelength 400 nanometer. So solving it, we get a value of 3.1 electron volt. This is the energy just received by the photoelectron as the photon strike it. So let's make its first collision, how much energy it will retain after first collision. Yes friends, we have got energy equals to 3.1 electron volt. So it losses its 10% of energy. So how much energy it still have? 90%. So 90% of it comes to be 3.1 into 0.9. Again 90% received. because 10% loss, so it comes to be 3.1 into zero point 0.9 ka whole square. Solving this, you will get a value of 2.511 electron volt. So yes friends, this much amount of energy is still retained by electron when photon gives its own energy, and two collision have been done. So but it still have to cross a value of phi, means work function, to get ejected. So K max we can write total energy which still have 2.511 minus 5 which is given in the question. I think it was 2.2 electron volt, so it comes to be nearly 0.311 electron volt. I hope friends this question is clear to you. Maldine's part is clear to you. So jump to our next part. Yes friends, in next part we have to find number of collisions after which it will not be able to come out. So let me write one equation. 3.1 into 0.9 to the power n is less than equal to 2.2 electron volt. So friends, this n represent number of collision. If it gets smaller than this value, then electron will ultimately not able to come out. So by hit and trial method, if you put n equals to 4, then at n equals to 4, this value comes greater than this, but at n equals to 5, it LHS value becomes smaller than RHS. So, so the maximum number of collision L will be equals to 4. So after still getting 4 collision, it will be able to come out, and it will not be able to come out if it receives a fifth collision. So this is our answer. So friends, I think this question is clear to you, so that we can move to our next slide. So yes friends, for today we have approximately covered all the topics and all the question. Now let's see some of the basic, what we can say, basic information points to be noted. So it's just for thinking purpose. If we have light of intensity I which falls on metal which is purely reflecting, then we have to find the force on it. Actually, in starting I have told you, whenever we have a parallel beam of light, it force will be equals to 2 times W by C, or if W is power but intensity, so what we can write, 2 times 2 times I intensity into area. But what area? It will be area of projection, and projection I have told you in second question, it comes to be pi r square upon C. Uh, yes, friends, I think this question is clear to you. But friends, what we can write that if 2 will not be here, because uh, you can remember this thing, whenever we have a sphere which is either perfectly reflecting or absorbing, we still have formula this. So this reason you can find the Google, because I think H.C. Verma sir have also not told this. So, but for general purpose, you can remember this. So, friends, we can move to a next slide. Yes, friends. Second concept is that if frequency is doubled, then we have to show that stopping potential will be greater than 2 times of initial. So, friends, let me write one equation. We know that V naught equals to H nu by E minus phi by E. This thing is clear. Let's make its first equation. Now, let's say that V naught dash means second means the second stopping potential when nu is doubled, what we can write, h times 2 nu upon e minus phi by e. This is our second equation, and this was our first equation. So we can clearly see that if you compare these two equations, you will clearly get vs dash is greater than 2 times, actually not, v naught dash 2 times v naught. When you compare this, please compare and see the result. So friends, I think this question is clear, so that we can move to our next slide. Yes friend, the last, but yes, I think, no, I think this second last question. We have to find the potential developed on the sphere when this light with energy hc by lambda falls on this. So friends, I think I have covered the similar question in previous thing. We have to find the means, we know one relation. What it is, that V equals to Q by C, where C is the capacitance, and capacitance we know Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into R. R is the radius. So just Q equals to N E. upon 4 pi epsilon naught r. So the matter comes fine to E. So as I already told to you, n equals to total energy upon energy of each photon, and according to the given data you can find n. So friends, I think this is clear to you. I have just told you how we have to approach, and this was our basic concept. So friends, let's move to a last, I think last, yes friends, I think the last, but yes not the least, is we have to show that collision in the photon collision in photon can in collision photon cannot be completely absorbed. So let's do the reverse thing, let's make it absorb fully. So I think you know the collision of photon is a completely elastic. So we can write K initial equals to K final, means and initial energy equals to final energy. So kinetic energy of photon so means so what we can write friends, E equals to, let's say energy of photon is E, it will be equals to half mv square. First equation, this is our first equation. Now second equation, this is our energy conservation. Now momentum conservation, what we can write, uh, first of all mass of electron into its velocity is 0 plus momentum of photon E by c. This equals to, let's say after collision electron moves with velocity v, so that it has velocity v, which we have also used here. So yes friends, when you solve these two equations you will get v equals to 2c, and this is not possible. And that is the reason why photon cannot be get directly absorbed. So friends, I think this lecture is handed here. I hope that you have enjoyed, and yes, feel the real sense of what I have told. If you still have any doubt, you can freely ask me in the comment section. And yes, please like and share, like, share, and subscribe my channel. So friends, thanks.